Before I started Scorn, I asked myself a question. What do I expect? I expected a depression simulator, a less than whimsical meandering through the bowels of an incomplete being made of an ancient machine assembled from equal parts sex and steel, a labyrinth of bad choices made over 1,000 lifetimes, made manifest into shocking imagery. Imagery explaining that God was dead long before I was born, and I'm the shavings that were left on the table of creation, my fragile ego nudging my decrepit body towards what little light can permeate the depression fog deep in the darker recesses of hell. I expected poetry. What I got was nihilism. Scorn is less a game than it is a piece of art, and it will be addressed as such. There is an apparent, unsettling beauty to the hell that is Scorn, and nothing more. There is a kind of unnatural ease that not a protagonist, not a character either. The vessel. There is an unnatural and familiar ease with which the vessel seems to have as it couples with every complex biomechanical interface to unlock the path to wherever it is going. Nothing is explained to it because everything is already familiar to the vessel, yet there is no catharsis to this journey. Walking through the winding corridors of this birthing factory, there are no fasteners, no rivets. There are nearly no straight lines. In a parallel universe, Dr. Holloway on the Prometheus reminds us that
God does not build in straight lines.
Everything in this world, barring the odd puzzle, appears more grown than built. One could wonder if in some far-off place, in some distant time, if spores could grow to create skyscrapers. Is that what this is? The sheer intricacy of everything, every device and interlocking system tells a story of mechanics that need specific and explicit permission to be as inefficient as possible. A Rube Goldberg machine, bringing into question if there is intelligent design. The inescapable parallels of David on the Engineer world comes to mind, with the key difference that David was curious, the vessel is indifferent. The curiosity is left to the mind of the beholder, which is where the magic of the experience lives and dies. The veneer of the world expresses the experiments of these machines, the malignant growths, and these habitable vessels. The trials of traversal through madness appear less the organic, incremental adaptations of natural evolution, as it is reminiscent of the hackiness of machine learning, blindly hammering away at a construct till it figures out a path, leaving expended shells of failure in its wake. The question is, what is success? How long can you throw darts into darkness before you hit a bullseye? How would you know if you never turned on the lights? Schrödinger is getting upset. If this world is an organism, it has cancer. The labyrinth's pseudo-immune system has synthesized specialized life forms that conflict with the goals of the world itself. These parasites and antibodies come off as not fully realized. Intellectually and physically disadvantaged, they don't have clear goals or purpose. They were specialty beings, born to deal with less than dynamic problems. The vessel is, inadvertently, a dynamic problem. This introduces what Scorn would consider combat. Combat feels equal parts misunderstood and frustrating. The lack of efficiency, just as everything is in this world, is as tedious as it is unsatisfying. The appendages work, but just barely, making every violent interaction seem another kind of puzzle obstacle. The vessel has more in common with Isaac Clarke entering the Ishimura than it does the Space Marine entering Hell. Unfortunately, even Isaac's repair tools feel better acclimated than what little is provided here. It's not that perfection is explicitly expected, but as an imprecise being suffering through the gauntlet, whatever is dredged up as a weapon feels as crippled as its victims. It's almost arrogant coming from a world that is as wasteful as it has been with its resources. 6 hours feels an eternity exploring every firm edge of this sterile yet disease-riddled world. Attempting to feel for any signs of guidance on what any of this means or what the purpose of the vessel is results in the same conclusions one might interpret from a fever dream. Seeing all there is to see here, the experience was both heartbreaking and completely expected. Scorn describes itself as an atmospheric first-person horror adventure game set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. I would describe Scorn as nihilism.